throwing the ball downfield and coming up with incompletions. Let's see if maybe they go with a little more conservative thought process. Let's just try to pick up 5 or 6 with maybe a delay out of the backfield.
John Kitna off to a bit of a shaky start. 3 for 10 for 37 yards.
Been throwing the ball way downfield, and it might be time to shorten things up. Findlay's in his zone.
And a big hole off the line of scrimmage for Jamie Christian. He'll pick up about 5 yards. Total offense unofficially right now, Findlay 190, Central Washington 39.
Well, pretty indicative of the score also, the 14-0. The Findlay defense has done a real nice job, with the exception of the one drive where Central did make an effort, as you see.
There's Bo Hurley, yep, talking to Booth down on the sideline. He's jersey off and a wrap around his left knee. He may be done for the day. Little swing pass to Jamie Christian for the first down. So the backfield weapon right now for Central as they try to get Jamie free.
Again, with Findlay sitting back in the zone, you got to do some things that are a little bit shorter and underneath them. And the screen passes, little delay screen, get that linebacker down on the ground and pick up the first down. That's what they need to do to maintain the field position and also keep a little defense resting over there on the side. They've been banged up pretty good by the Findlay offense.
I should mention, not unusual to see him throwing to Christian. He averages about 3.5 catches a game, so everybody gets a chance in this attack. And we get another new man in, Todd Murray. A little delay from the tight end spot. The all-league tight end comes up with a catch just short of first down yardage, and the little checkoffs are working real well right now. That'll raise your percentage in a big hurry.
Yeah, it also raises your confidence, and the offensive lineman feels a lot better about not having given up the sack. Nice protection. Just let that play develop. Linebackers drop back into their hook zones and throw it underneath them. Pick up a good first down play. Now 2nd and 1 as opposed to 2nd and 10. Makes a large difference.
Todd Murray, who suffered a slight shoulder separation in the playoffs against Hardin Simmons, back in. There's a misread as Kitna went one way, Christian the other, and they will not be able to pick up the first down. And down on the turf right now, Mr. Kitna, who's sitting down, is having a discussion with Jamie Christian.
Well, the way that looked to me is the blocking was all set up to the right side, and I think Christian went the wrong way that time. There's nothing worse than when you turn around and no one's there to hand the ball off. All right, now we have 3rd and 1.5. Really 2-down territory here for Central as they need to pick up a first down and score on this drive to stay in this national championship.
Holt in motion. Christian's not going to get it. Good initial penetration for Findlay by Nate Arnold, and then the tackle made by Mike Powers, the linebacker. And the Wildcats will be forced to punt.
Well, they decide that at this point they want to keep themselves in the football game and go ahead and punt it away as opposed to give up the field position. Coach Zenisek feels his football team has the offensive firepower to get back into this football game.
Close to a block and a free chance there for Macy. He'll signal for the fair catch. A good punt that time by Greg Stoller. Got it off under some pressure against a team that's come up with quite a few kick blocks this season in Findlay's special teams.
Jackson, the nose guard, is not a big man, but he's a scrapper. Had a chance to block that. There you see Jeff Zenisek over on the sidelines, a little bit concerned about his offense right now.
Dick Strom's got to feel a little bit relaxed there about sending his reserve quarterback back in the way he's directed. We mentioned they were the runners-up in '78. The next year they came back and won the title. And then in 1992 in Portland, a victory over Linfield College by a 26-13 margin.
Well, there's a lot to say about having been to the championship game before, having been able to prepare for it, understand what the kids are going through, and Strom's done an excellent job preparing the Oilers for this football game.
Pearson, the carrier, out of the broken bone that time.
Good tackle by Mall, and Rakovic, the linebacker's in there. Didn't allow Pearson to get up that head of steam he had in that last same play that he ran there, only the right side, that one that he scored on earlier. You see Rakovic stunts outside, and there's Mall with a big pop. Rakovic helps in, polishes off. 2nd down and about 6.
Those quick hits have definitely been effective for the Oilers so far here in the contest. Inside 4 minutes to play in the second quarter. And Shelton cuts back to pick up a first down. A lot of open field here for the Findlay Oilers. Shelton finally brought down by Raykovich.
Well, I think at this point, Coach Zenesek's got to think a little bit about bringing linebackers and gambling a little bit with some of their secondary personnel, because right now they're standing up, catching the blocks, looking around, and that just doesn't get it done against a bigger, stronger, running power type football team as the Oilers have.
Those cutbacks are taking the central linebackers right out of the play. They're over pursuing. No flag, so Luonga got back, and Pearson is wrapped up in the backfield by Raykovich.
Looks like Chad Ulm is down now, holding his left knee, and so the center and quarterback may be out for the Oilers, as you see the tackle made by Raykovich. Good penetration, but you know, that's their battery that they've had that has been successful all year for them, and both of them look like they may be out for this game as a very sore and obviously painful injury.
Ulm down on the field. We'll take a quick pause. 3:21 left to play in the second quarter from Tacoma. Findlay with a 14-0 lead in the NAIA Division II championship game. Back in Tacoma, Chad Ulm making his way off the field there at the bottom of your screen, a little slowly, but able to carry himself off. The Oilers will be back in action in a minute, and a reminder, you can catch everything else from the world of sports in the press box. That comes your way tonight at 7 o'clock. The wrap-up of all the happenings around the world of sports today. The press box at 7 on Prime Sports.
Second down and 12 now for the Oilers.
Booth with some room, tried to cut back that time and finally got met from behind by Keith Larson.
As the clock winds down, third and about 8, I would call timeout if I was Central. Think about maybe preserving some of this time. Here, the counter, and Booth is hemmed in. He's just going to break it back, and good pursuit by the smaller, quicker Central Cats. 2 minutes and 34 seconds now left in this first half of play, and again, would have been good to call timeout and maybe preserve some of that time for Kitna.
A little toss to Shelton. He'll be stopped short of the first down. Gary Michael on the stop for Central Washington, fourth leading tackler for the Wildcats this season.
Again, timeout would really be beneficial here, but then now the punting team will come on for the Oilers. 2 minutes down, ticking down, and Central holds. But the time is going away quickly for their offense.
Of course, on the other hand, the way the offense has been rolling for Central, you might want to give Findlay the ball and too much time back once again to do anything with. But Mark Barnes on to punt for the Oilers. Montre Macon with the return. Got a little bit of a wall set up and finally takes it out to about the 35-yard line before he's brought down. Marty Watkins and Elion Henry on the tackle for Findlay, and a good block by Tony Bowie to create a little bit of running room for Macon on the punt return.
There you see Hurley, quarterback, with that left leg all bandaged up, and we are obviously not going to see him again
and they
today.
said, Bo, you got to get off the table and move over because Chad Ulm needs it now.
He's a little
get on
bigger.
the crutches, put the splint on, and Hurley's going to make his way toward the locker room here for the halftime. A little screen set up and right through the hands of the intended receiver. Todd Murray started the season as the starting tight end, and then of course was injured. It would expected to see plenty of playing time today.
Had a nice little wrinkle set up there with the tight end screen, but not able to hold on to that pigskin.
A little bit of a dilemma now. With less than 90 seconds to play, do you start to look downfield and try to get a score, or do you try to just get some completions and restore some confidence? Christian on the draw. just short of the first down. He'll be brought down about the 44-yard line. Mike Powers leading the tacklers for Findlay along with Brett Macy.
Wildcats now in a hurry-up offense, going from the shotgun. 3rd and 1, not normally a shotgun situation.
Findlay having to scramble a little bit to get some subs off the field. That'll be a first down, and a quick closing hit that time by Curly Vigil, backup defensive back, as he put a pretty good stick on Josh Woodard, but not before the Wildcats get a first down at midfield.
Clock stops with that first down until they set the chain, so Kitna is now trying to organize the hurry-up offense and move it down. 55 seconds, clock is ticking now.
Trying to look long. Now he'll find a guy in the seam, little bump, and a flag thrown. And it looked like a bit of a bump by Terrence Oster as he tried to get inside Kenny Rousseau.
No doubt about it. Both players going up for the football. Kitna lets it fly down the hash mark. And you see there's the bump initially and just interfered with him enough where he couldn't get his hands up, threw him off balance, and he's trying to argue he's going for the football, but pretty good call that time by the back judge.
Yeah, pass interference on the defense, automatic first down.
So that'll stop the clock and allow Central maybe to call a couple plays from the huddle here.
You know, Cleet, I think that was about the best looking long pass that John Kitten has thrown here in the first half.
Put it right where it needed to be. You can see here the penalty yardage, but right now Kitna's, like we've talked about, has not been sharp so far this afternoon.
Trips left on the first down, under some pressure, a little dump for Christian. He'll be short of the first down as the entire Findlay defense collides with him. 9 guys in that pileup for the Oilers before it's through. Clock continues to run, and now timeout finally taken by Central with 33 seconds left. A look again at Jamie Christian. 43 catches for the season.
Central again happy to take the ball a little bit at a time here, not trying to get it all in one chunk. Plenty of time, and they also have plenty of timeouts so that they can afford to operate in the middle of the field. Again, Christian is just going to slip out of the backfield, get to that spot where the linebackers have vacated in their drop zones, and then get absolutely pummeled by all of the Oilers.
Really was by the time he got finished. That's about what it looked like. There's Dick Strom huddled up with his defensive unit. 21st year as the head coach. Jeff Zenisek, who was an all-district performer as a center at Central Washington. You got to be tough going from center to head coach. I mean, everything's been upside down for years, and now you're trying to coach it. There's what they're going after. The national championship trophy, and of course a traveling trophy as well, going either back to Ohio or staying in the Pacific Northwest following the game.
Central would really like to get on the boards here.
Here's one good answer, a little rollout. Kitna with a man open. Rousseau in the corner, back across the field for the score. Second time in the playoffs they've done that, with Kitna rolling one way and showing the arm strength to go clear back across the field, and they were able to beat Larry Williams, the free safety, for the score.
Well, a nice bit of play action and a great block by the running back Woodard as he picks off Big Brookins right here. That's the play that gives Kitna enough time to set his feet and throw all the way back to the corner of the end zone. And just a nice bit of concentration by Rousseau, who knew he was going to get blasted. As that ball's coming down out of the Tacoma Dome ceiling, he sees the defender in his sights and had the presence of mind just to focus on the football and catch it. So big touchdown for Central.
Stoller the holder, Marty Greenlee the kicker. PATs have been a problem at times for the Wildcats this season, but not that one. And in the closing seconds of the first half, Central Washington gets on the board.
Coach Zenisek here on the sidelines now with his kickoff team, but boy, he's got to feel a lot better after having really been dominated in this first half by the Findlay Oilers. To come up with a 1-minute drill basically to score was a big momentum changer going into halftime. They'll go in and feel much more confident about their ability to move the ball now. One of the things they might continue to stick with is the hurry-up offense. And the thing that does is it wears out defensive linemen as they have to hustle back, get in their stance, and then come upfield. You look at the play, or the scoring drive, 1 minute and 7 seconds is only the time elapsed with Kenny Rousseau hauling in the 27-yarder from Kitna. But again, maybe that's something that helps their offense, is create a little panic and confusion in the Findlay defense through the hurry-up offense.
They're the improvement from a season ago. Guess they didn't need that timeout down on the offensive end we were talking about. And, that's why they make him the head coach and we're up here, right? Greenlee, rather Stoller handling the kickoff for Central. And Macy running it back. A little loaf of bread carry there. I thought it might squirt loose for a second as he got out near the 30-yard line. Brett Macy, who's been back handling punts. In fact, he's not scheduled to be the kickoff return man. He's listed number 5 on that list, but he's out there doing duty for the Oilers. So with 17 seconds left, we'll see what Dick Strom does, if anything, or if he's just content to take it into the locker room. Dan Frank's on as the backup center now for the injured Chad Ulm. Pearson one more time, and again Pearson out over the markers for another first down, so the Oilers will have a chance to run another play if they want to. Basic but effective, Cleet.
Yes, the Pearson's been the real workhorse, coming out of that fullback position, and nothing wild and fancy by Dick Strom and his staff. Just gonna move it down the field a little bit here. They picked up the first down, so now they have another shot, and that's the end of the first half.
The Oilers will take it into the locker room after that. Pearson, very effective first half rushing, including 2 touchdowns. Central Washington gets the late score to get on the board, and at halftime, a very open offensive attack. Both offenses getting a chance to put their skills on display. And the Findlay Oilers with a 14-7 lead over Central Washington at halftime in Tacoma. We'll be back with our halftime activities from the 26th NAIA Division II Championship game after this timeout on Prime Sports. From the Tacoma Dome in Tacoma, Washington, halftime of the NAIA Championship game. Findlay of Ohio leading Central Washington by a 14-7 score. The Central Washington Wildcats in their first NAIA football title game, and while we've got a moment here at halftime, let's take a look at Central Washington University.
I'm Ivory Nelson, president of Central Washington University. Let's take a few minutes and see what Central's all about.
With 100 years under its belt, Central has seen some changes. It started out as a teacher preparation school called the Washington State Normal School back in 1891. It didn't take long before Central was known as one of the best teacher preparation facilities nationwide, and by 1937, it donned the name Central Washington College of Education. Facing the Great Depression and World War II, Central recognized a need to diversify its curriculum. General college courses were added, and by 1961, it became Central Washington State College. Always fighting for progressive education, Central pushed to full university standing in 1977. And through it all, Central's focus has never changed. Students come first. Well, Central is truly for everyone. It has a wide range of students: white, black, Hispanic, Asian, Native American, men and women, young and old, and persons of disability.
We are working very hard to study job trends and design programs geared to send students confident into the real world.
Business and economics, for example, is very popular. This outstanding program is highly praised in the business community. In fact, all of the big 6 accounting firms in the state recruit on Central's campus. Plus, during national CPA exams in the past few years, Central students frequently achieved Washington State's top exam scores. Central's accredited music program is nationally recognized as well. Some 2,000 students participate in courses each year, and students are sought even before they graduate. Central continues to have the largest teacher education program in Washington, graduating nearly 400 certified teachers each year. Central also gains recognition each year for industrial engineering technology, which includes flight tech, as well as the performing arts, fine arts, and many more. Many students gain valuable job experience through Central's cooperative education program. Businesses and organizations which participate in this program include Boeing, Microsoft, the Washington State Attorney General's Office, the Port of Seattle, and Battelle Northwest. Central also offers the ingredients for a busy social life. In addition to the energetic sports lineup at Nicholson Pavilion, hikes in the hills around town are always a nice break from the books. In the winter, those same hills are clad with plenty of the white stuff, perfect for snowmobiling or cross-country skiing, and Ellensburg is just an hour's drive from Snoqualmie ski areas. Ellensburg is a hot spot in the spring and summer. There are campus barbecues, adventures at Vantage for fun in the sun, and rafting down the Yakima River. Like the ever-changing winds move through the Kittitas Valley, Central moves to meet the needs of its students.
That's a look at Central Washington University of Ellensburg, Washington. Also in today's championship game, the University of Findlay, Ohio, a four-year liberal arts institution founded in 1882 by the Churches of God in North America and the city of Findlay. The university now offers students a choice of over 50 majors, and the mission to offer an educational program blending liberal arts and career education to prepare students for lives of productive service. A student body of 2,127 students and a 15-to-1 student-faculty ratio, which gives students the opportunity to develop their full potential intellectually and exercise leadership abilities in a variety of extracurricular activities. Athletics part of the deep tradition at Findlay as well. Membership in the Mid-States Football Association and the Mid-Ohio Conference, as well as the NAIA, with 10 varsity sports for men and 9 for women. Along with the National Football Championships, they were also the 1995 NAIA Wrestling Champions. And that's a little bit about the University of Findlay in Findlay, Ohio. And the Oilers from Findlay have our halftime lead right now in Tacoma. It's Findlay 14, Central Washington 7. Back to recap our first half of play of this NAIA Championship game after this timeout on Prime Sports. Halftime in Tacoma, Findlay leading Central Washington by a score of 14-7 in the NAIA Division II Championship game. All of our scoring coming in the second quarter of play. Andy Booth coming on as a backup quarterback. Took over for Bo Hurley for Findlay and led him to a couple of scores, both by Troy Pearson. The first one a short run, Clete.
Well, Pearson's been the beneficiary of excellent blocking, both by his stablemates in the backfield and the line in front of him doing a nice job. Here's his big run. Gets a nice block from Yeager, sprints into the end zone and powers through the secondary to pick up the second touchdown for the Oilers. Again, their offensive line been doing a very nice job, but Central got back into this football game.
That was a 25-yard TD midway through the second quarter to make it 14-0. And then when the closing seconds, in fact 23 seconds on the clock, Kitna hooking up with Rusaw.
The hurry-up offense works to perfection, and they find Rusaw alone in the corner. Counter action, the little bootleg action buys Kitna enough time. And Rusaw just patiently waits for that football to come down for him, and Wildcats climb back into it 14-7.
26-yard touchdown pass from Kitna to Rusaw for Kitna. That was his 40th touchdown pass of the season. And a look at some of the numbers from our first half of play. And until that final drive, it really would have been a disparity in favor of Findlay, but as it is, more than 2-to-1 in total yards.
Well, nothing surprising on the Findlay side, 196 yards, that's status quo for them. A little bit surprising that Central hasn't been able to put more yards through the air, and credit the Findlay defensive line for putting some pressure on Kitna.
The one turnover stopping a Findlay drive as they had a pass attempt to go off the hands of Pearson, and it turned into an interception early in the first quarter for Findlay. Individually, Pearson was 75 yards rushing to lead Findlay, by the way, so he's had a very productive first half of play.
On the other side of it, you've got Kitna, only 8 of 16, and most of those 8 completions coming in that last drive to pick up the touchdown.
So some hope for Central Washington with that final drive. They'll have to do something to stop the punishing ground attack of Findlay. We'll be back with more of our halftime activities and get ready for the second half of play from Tacoma after this timeout on Prime Sports. You're watching the 1995 NAIA Division II Football Championship on Prime Sports. From the Tacoma Dome, Todd Pickett along with Cleet Casper just about ready to start the second half of play. Findlay leading Central Washington by a 14-7 score. A couple of individual totals to pass along to you. We mentioned Pearson with 75 yards. He's been a real concern for Jeff Zenisek and the Central Washington Wildcats. Andy Booth, 4 of 6 passing for 30 yards in the first half, and I thought really did a good job running their attack.
No, he's picked up a couple key first downs, and he's thrown the ball pretty well, something we hadn't even thought about the passing game for the Oilers.
Central Washington just 18 yards rushing against the defense of the Findlay Oilers, which averages just 53 yards a game rushing defense. And Kitna 8 of 16, as Cleet mentioned, in the first half. And a lot of that all on the final drive, and better than 25% of it, of course, coming on the one pass to Russo for the touchdown.
Well, as Central gets set to kick off here, I think the thing that they need to worry about is the offense for the Oilers and how they stuff it up and take care of the fullback. See if they can accomplish that in that first drive here.
Greg Stoller to kick off a little bit short off the legs of Macy. It hops away from him. Contrail Johnson will down it in the end zone, and a wise play there, waiting for the ball to go. It's a safety. They're going to call that a safety on the muffed kick. And it should be a touchback, I would think, Cleet, because it never was a clean field.
That's my understanding, is once the ball crosses the goal line and it has not been fielded
Dick Strom's out.
That is a touchback. They're going to rule, however, that it was touched in the field of play and controlled, and Dick Strom cannot believe that on the sideline.
14-9.
That's the public address announcer that you're hearing all of a sudden, and
the officials are going to conference here and make sure they have indeed make the right call. My interpretation would be that it would be a touchback and not a safety, but let's see what the referee, head referee, Mr. Buchanan, says after this little conference. Again, you can see there's one touch there. The ball squirts off the leg, and there's no way that that is a possession. And that ball is going to roll into the end zone, and he does not pick the ball up. Well played.
And that I was going to give Johnson credit for waiting to let the ball roll into the end zone before he downed it.
Yeah, I mean.
And I'm with you. As far as, let's see what Jim Buchanan has to say about it, though.
A mistake was made on the field. We will have a touchback. First down.
Absolutely the right call.
Yeah. Boy, what a shift in momentum that might have been to give up 2 in the football all of a sudden, with Central coming off the touchdown. So good job by the crew to get together and straighten that out.
Well, also, you know, you've really got to give credit to Johnson for having the poise to just let that ball slowly roll over the goal line and then pick it up once he made sure his whole body was over the line.
It's like an infielder waiting for the ball to roll foul on a bunt attempt, but he showed a lot of poise in waiting for it.
Infielders don't have half-crazed linebackers running
bearing down upon them. True.
Coach Zenisek on the sidelines gets the rule, and he's not happy at all with it, but
I had no room for debate on that one.
Yeah, absolutely the right call.
So Contrail Johnson, he'll never show up anywhere in the stats, but talk about keeping a cool head and showing some poise at the right time. The backup running back for Findlay does just that to avoid a real potential disaster. So first down for the Oilers at the 20, and again the broken bone on first down as they send Yeager out to the slot. Shelton, the ball carrier, and a short gain. LeMaster on the stop along with Yushin Santori. We haven't called his name much as a primary tackler in the first half, just to show you the job that's being done on the nose guard for Central.
Good job by Larson here in the middle of the football field. Again, allowing LeMaster the room to run and not get blocked. And a lot of times you don't think about it, but the defensive linemen sometimes act as blockers for the linebackers in these new schemes on defense.
Shelton once again listed as the fullback in some of the alignments, but you see him starting from the left half position there, and he'll be just short of the first down. The Central Washington defense averaging about 113 yards rushing defense a game. They've held 6 of their opponents to under 100 yards rushing, but of course Findlay a little bit more potent on the ground than many of the opponents Central's faced.
There's Shelton's numbers so far. He again did a real good job of setting up his blocker that time, making the lighter defensive tackle make a decision, and then running the other way, running inside the block.
Dive and a first down for Pearson, bounces off a tackler and into the secondary. Finally, he'll get shoved out of bounds by the convoy. They tried to strip the ball as well. Macon pushing him out of bounds, and just when you say, well, Pearson's got the first down, you look down to see who's got the tackle. He breaks free and he's gone for long yardage.
Very typical on a lot of short yardage situations where the defense has come up to the line of scrimmage trying to stop things there. And again, just a good bit of running. Pearson running through the tackles of the lighter secondary, and then he's off to the races.
Somebody has to tell some of the Central defenders that putting a helmet on him is not going to be enough to wrap this young man up. You've got to use the arms and drag him down. Pearson over the century mark. And just 9 carries, Clete.
Pretty impressive day so far for Pearson, but that's the kind of bruising running game that Central expected.
Timeout called by Andy Booth as he takes a look at the Central Washington defense. 1.5 minutes gone in the third quarter. Findlay on the march again. They lead by 7. We'll be back after this timeout on Prime Sports. Back in Tacoma, Findlay with the lead in the opening minutes of the third quarter. And a first down for the Oilers. Shelton in the slot at the wide receiver spot. Little stack up in the middle that time, and Central really getting some good penetration into the backfield to bottle up that play before it got started. LeMaster leading the tacklers on Troy Pearson.
Well, the 2 linebackers come in from their inside linebacker positions, again trying to use their speed and get inside the gaps, cause some confusions in the backfield. LeMaster did just exactly that, and there you see his new CWU tackling record.
First team all-league, and as we mentioned, second on the all-time career tackles list for the Wildcats by the time he wraps up today. Little misdirection there by Booth, and I'm not sure that one was entirely planned either. He kind of looked around and said, whoops, there's nobody else here.
That was counter to the counter.
Yeah, LeMaster on the stop.
LeMaster's eyes lit up when he saw the naked boot running around there. You can see everybody's going that away.
Yeah.
And
it's a 3-1 vote.
Oh, it's not good. It's not good right there. LeMaster lights him up. Good play that time for Central as they needed to have a little momentum shift and again stay away from that third down and short situation. Get him into a passing type of configuration. Watch for Hamby, number 85. He's been the key receiver for Booth today.
First time we've had 2 wideouts in for Findlay. Both Hamby and Dills in on 3rd and 8. Looking for Hamby, a little inside-outside cross route, and he was open, but the ball not real well thrown that time by Booth.
That was the kind of passing game you expected from Findlay. That thing was basically shot-putted out there, and luckily it wasn't picked off.
Kind of a nice combination route, I thought, Clete, is they were able to send Dills to the inside and draw a couple defenders, create some room for Hamby, and the guy who's caught anything within reach just wasn't able to get near that one. Field goal unit on for Findlay, and a little discussion. They were waiting to call a timeout because they didn't have enough men on the field. They'll have to try to hurry. They really don't want to waste a second timeout. Sellers looking to the referee. Barnes the holder. 1 second. They aren't going to get it off. So they deliberated, and I think the signal was don't waste another timeout here with only 3 minutes gone in the third quarter. But Findlay not able to get the alignment down in time. And we'll have to see now whether or not they'll still attempt the field goal.
Makes it about 4th and 14, and the conversation looks like
delay
that
game penalty on the offense, 5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
they're going to elect to go ahead and punt the ball.
Yeah, this would make it a 52-yarder.
It's too far to go for it, 4th and 14.
And I was a little surprised to see Sellers out there in the first place because his long this season is 39. Although he's definitely shown a leg, it would have been well beyond his best so far.
Well, I got a feeling not too many games have been played inside for him, and maybe willing to take a shot in the friendly kicker confines of the Tacoma Dome, but they'll punt away and try to pin Central back.
You saw Montre Macon there back to return. Barnes trying to kick away from him for the coffin corner. Doesn't get a great bounce, but it'll still keep Central fairly deep. They'll mark it right at the 10-yard line, as a matter of fact. And the Wildcats will have the ball there with 11:48 left to play here in the third quarter. And we'll see what Central can do after scoring on their final possession of the first half.
Well, after almost getting a big break on the kickoff, Central's able to hold Findlay outside the end zone, and let's see if there's been any adjustments at halftime for the Central offense. Kitna was very effective in the quick 1-minute drill, the short possession passes. See if they try to stick with that.
We're talking to the staff of Central, the sports information director Bob Guptill, as we see Christian carry the ball. I said, well, you're going to see too many multiple receiver formations, any trips, or no, we really don't do that too much, and we've seen a ton of trips so far here today as the Wildcats had it again there on first down, just trying to stretch this defense out a little bit right now for Findlay. There, look at Josh Woodard. He'll split out of the backfield as one of those receivers. They'll go 2 to the left, 1 to the right this time on 2nd and 8. The tip at the line of scrimmage almost there, and then a caught by Henderson. Looked as though a defender was going to get a hand on it for a second the way it came out. And E.J. Henderson, high school teammate of John Kitna, gets his first catch.
Well, we've been expecting to see the Kitna to Henderson combination. I think that's the first time today that we've seen that. And again, here's the hurry-up offense. Perhaps that's something that they can use, being Central, to take advantage of their strengths.
Looking long for Henderson. Makes a great adjustment, but can't hang on to the ball as Terrence Oster was with him step for step. Good distance in that one, but if Kitna had been able to air it out so that he was able to hit Henderson in stride, they might have made the completion.
Well, he almost waited too long to throw that ball. A lot of times you're used to getting the snap from the shotgun and then taking a couple steps to set up, and it looked like by the time he let that ball go, Henderson was already 40 yards downfield, and by the time that ball got there, it had to be thrown 70 yards. The Kitna looks like he can do that, but the odds of catching those passes are relatively slim.
Looking for the tight end. Powers will make the stop from the strong linebacker position as Dolan Holt comes up with the catch for the Wildcats. So they get about half of what they needed. And again, out of the hurry-up alignment, it'll be 3rd and about 5 for Central Washington.
Well, I really like this concept. What it does is it makes those defensive linemen who've been putting on good pressure for the Oilers really have to work.
Trips right, but Findlay overplays the screen. They were trying to find Christian in the left flat, and Findlay just had a couple defenders drop off and get in the way. Nate Arnold in the way of the passing lane, and Kitna unable to do anything, got sacked.
Well, Ray Jackson, the 5'7", 200-pound nose guard, was able to fight off his block of the center. There you see him isolated. Keep on keeping on and get in there to get just a shoestring and make the sack. So good hustle by the nose guard for Findlay.
Stoller on to kick once again, drills one. Macy backpedaling. Remember, he bobbled the kickoff at the start of the half, and he wisely falls on top of this one to give the Oilers possession at the 20-yard line. So big roar from the Central fans with the booming delivery from Stoller. Meanwhile, we have a timeout on the field. That one coming after a 52-yard punt by Stoller. 10:03 to play in the third quarter. Findlay leads it by 7. Welcome back to Tacoma. The Findlay Oilers' second possession of the second half. They lead by a touchdown. And Central Washington beginning to stack up that dive a little bit more aggressively as Pearson got stuffed right off the bat.
Andy Eggleston in there, fights off his block, and again, getting a little penetration is what really mixes up that backfield, and Eggleston is able to swim over the top of the guard, make the play right as the ball carrier got the handoff.
Dan Wadley, a backup linebacker, in as well for Central Washington. In fact, he's stepping into the alignment. Aaron Mall not on the field right now for the Wildcats.
Two wide receivers again. This is their passing alignment.
Instead, they'll try the run, and popping out of the hole is Shelton, trying to make something out of it, and got swarmed underneath. Craig Bill leading the way for Central. The monster coming up on the stop.
Well, Craig was lined up on the tight end side of this two wide receiver alignment, and he's able just to stay home, doesn't go with the flow. And a nice tackle there to wrap up Shelton. All right, 3rd and long again. This is playing into Central's hands. Let's see if they sit back in the zone or maybe come after the quarterback here.
Shelton split to the left. Dills, the split end, is out to the right. They'll just run the dive up to Pearson, and Central Washington comes up with a 3 and out, and elicits a huge roar from their fans who fill the Tacoma Dome's far side bleachers up to the roof.
Well, taking advantage of Stoller's punt and giving themselves perhaps a little field position. So really a nice job that time from the defensive side of the Wildcats. 3 rushing plays and stop for really not much. 4th and 8, 4th and 7. Oilers have to punt it away.
Barnes on, Macon back, in a short kick off the side of his foot will give Central Washington the ball in Findlay territory. They'll spot it at the 44-yard line of Findlay.
Well, by far the best field position of the day.
A 21-yard punt, and Central Washington now with a chance to drive. John Kitna leading the Wildcats back out on the field. Before the game, he said, well, all the records that he has are nice. He'd trade them all, though, for just one thing.
Definitely winning, winning the championship. That right there, I think, will define me in the long run. Nobody's going to remember all the records or anything, but they can remember that one, national championship that I won.
Well, talking pretty confident there about that championship that he won, and right now he's in a good spot to tie this football game up, starting this drive from their 44-yard line, and little offsides maneuver by...
They're going to call it, it looks like, against Findlay. That's the way Kitna signaled, rather. I thought the tight end Dolan Holt had jumped out of the formation.
Well, actually, what Holden was doing was coming
in the
back,
motion man.
and he's going to go in motion and stepping off the line of scrimmage so the tight end can move, and the Oilers are disputing the fact, but right now the referees are having the conference, and this one is going to go against Findlay, I'm pretty sure.
We have no penalty on the play, no penalty.
Okay. Successful negotiation by Dick Strom and his staff. We'll start it all over. 1st and 10 at the 44.
It's the official championship mulligan. Now, guys, don't hit me. I'm moving. That's Holt. Christian, a little flea flicker back to Kitna. Receivers are covered. He's going to throw it for Roussaw anyway. And an adjustment, incomplete. He dropped it in the end zone. Boy, Terrence Oster was there. I didn't think that it was a great pass for Kitna to throw, but Roussaw stayed in front of him, couldn't hang on.
Well, actually, it was a pretty good throw from Kitna. It may not have been far enough, but he leads it away from the safety that's covering Roussaw, and he brings him across the field so far, and you can see that the safety loses the ball in the air, and there's a chance for a touchdown that just drifts away. Had a holding penalty anyway on that, so it wouldn't have mattered.
Play, so.
But not a bad play. Coach Zenisek pulling a page out of the Husky playbook as they use that same play to confuse the Cougars a couple weeks ago.
Boy, and that hold was deep in the backfield as well, because the penalty marched off is a 19-yarder. Roussaw on a little screen with a couple of downfield blockers. He'll get back across the midfield stripe before he's run out of bounds by Ray Long.
Well, that's a play that's very effective against a zone where the defenders, especially the corners, are a little soft here this afternoon. You're just going to fake a little counter, keep the linebackers in the middle of the field, and get the ball off to your wide receiver that's done such a great job running with the ball after he catches it and picks up about 14 yards, so second down and about 15.
And it also sets up your double pass flea flicker for later in the game if you need it, right?
You got to do that.
Okay. Kitna on the scramble again, looking for Henderson, who adjusts back to the ball, makes the grab and could get in. He will. The scrambling ability of Kitna pays off, and Central Washington is back in the ball game with a chance to tie.
Great job by Kitna, first of all, to scramble and buy himself some time. Looks like he may get sacked as he's stuck in the middle of the pocket. There you see Chad Moxie collapsing things down, and Brookins is going to chase him out. You'll see number 12, Hammond, backup safety. He's going to lose track of where this football is. He doesn't know that that football's right in the back of his head, and by the time he does find it, EJ comes back for the ball and then turns on the Jets to get in the end zone. And ladies and gentlemen, we've got a great football game going here.
Rousseau with the block to spring the lane for him, and how close was Henderson to stepping out of bounds with 1 foot. Now, point after touchdowns have been an adventure. Greenlee 42 of 54 and has had 5 blocked. Just so you know, Pryor, but he pops that one right through. Midway through the third quarter, we're all even. Central Washington scoring at the end of the half, scoring now on the short field, and we're tied. Findlay 14, Central Washington 14. The NAIA championship game coming your way on Prime Sports.
Buying a house is probably the biggest investment you'll ever make. And if now is the time you're thinking of buying or refinancing a home, there are so many questions to be answered. Can I afford a new home? What type of mortgage do I need? How can I lower my monthly payments? Experts agree that whenever possible, a fixed-rate loan is the most secure loan you can get. With a fixed-rate loan, you'll know in advance what your payments will be every month.
But finding a low fixed-rate mortgage isn't so easy.
It is now. Just call Alpine Mortgage Services at 1-800-FIXED-RATE. That's right. When you call Alpine Mortgage, you'll be speaking with experts in the mortgage field who will help you with the many aspects of buying or refinancing a home, including getting you a low fixed-rate loan that could dramatically lower your monthly payments.
We called 1-800-FIXED-RATE and found out we could afford our own home.
And we got an excellent rate.
Alpine Mortgage Services can also provide you with a low-rate adjustable loan. Don't wait for rates to go up again. Call Alpine Mortgage Services at 1-800-FIXED-RATE.
Very significant play for the Central Washington Wildcats. Not only did it equal the game, it gave John Kitna another NAIA national record for NAIA career total offense. I'll tell you more about that in just a minute as you see the numbers on the drive. And of course, it actually was a 44-yard drive, not a 56-yarder, as they had the ball on the Findlay side of the field to start the drive.
Great job by Henderson to come back to that football, catch the ball, and then turn on the Jets and just shoot right up the pipe. Showed us some great speed there.
Stoller to kick off. Contrell Johnson watching this one. It'll go out of bounds. The yards on that touchdown pass giving Kitna the mark, going past Kirk Baumgartner of Wisconsin-Stevens Point, who played for them from 1986 to 1989 on the NAIA career list. A fellow by the name of Mark Weekley on that list in the number 7 spot, quarterback from Pacific Lutheran up here in the Northwest.
That ball's kicked out of bounds, and that'll bring it to the 35-yard line for Findlay to start their drive. Last drive not very successful. 3 rushing plays and out.
And a reminder for you fans who love your football with a little flavor the other way, Italian soccer, some of the top clubs in the world, AC Milan, Inter, Parma, Fiorentina, many, many more. All the goings on from the world of Italian soccer, probably the top league internationally, comes your way here on Prime Sports. The Serie A will be the subject of discussion later on. Right now, the NAIA is our subject of discussion as Andy Booth gets wrapped up after about a yard gain.
Well, again, making Booth beat him. Let's take away Shelton. And LeMaster comes in with a little help of Eggleston and wrap him up for not much of a gain on first down. A little bit of a change of pace on the defensive side for Central. They brought up Bill, the defensive back, and almost have a 4-4 look as opposed to their 4-2 kind of concept that they had. So bring in the secondary more into the play.
Booth looking for a little screen for Shelton. Got one good block downfield, and again, his open field ability will allow Findlay to pick up another first down. Good block by the backup tackle, Nolan Gearhart, to spring him originally, but boy, in the open field, Robert Shelton's a tough guy to corral.
Well, a real nice play call. The defensive line starting to feel some confidence, and they're coming up field hard. Let him slip by and set up nicely. I thought Eggleston might have a shot to get him, but slowed down just enough, and we've talked a lot about Shelton and Pearson's ability to let the blocks happen in him, and a good job of running, taking advantage of those blocks that time by Shelton.
Now we'll see if Findlay is able to use this to kind of slow Central Washington's momentum a bit. Pearson back in the familiar spot and close to another first down as they'll pick up a good 9 before he's dragged down. The free safety Gary Michael leading the tacklers for Central along with Dan Wadley.
Andy Booth, again, the second teamer coming in and having to perform under the pressure of the championship game. Done an admirable job so far.
Both quarterbacks are back next season for Findlay. Hurley a junior, Booth a sophomore. A little spirited competition after this game, perhaps. Shelton's turn. First down before he's tripped up. Looked as though Rakovic got a hand on his foot to drag him down. Otherwise, he might have been gone for more. Boy, a real two-pronged attack. Shelton, of course, 1,055 yards, and Pearson with better than 800. Both of them first-team all-league selections.
Well, Findlay coming back, responding well to the Wildcat turn of events where they were able to get in the end zone, and now Findlay mounting a drive coming right back.
Two men in the pattern, but Pearson taking it off the right side. Down to about the 31-yard line. Again, Wadley been quite active here in the third quarter, making the stop. Central shuttling some defenders in and out. Iniguez and Hoynes will check in for the Wildcats now.
You know, we talk about this offense as a wishbone, but it really isn't much of an option team. They really just like to pound it between the tackles, usually using the halfbacks as the lead blockers and giving the ball a lot to Pearson.
It's a wishbone alignment. It really runs more like a power eye almost, doesn't it?
Another variation with Shelton kind of as a wingback.
Just a little dive action to head for the sticks. Look there at Seb Hoynes, whose dad and uncle both played for Central.
Not quite enough for the first down. Bring up third and short one. Two-down territory here, and last time third and short, they were able to pop it through the initial wave of tacklers and pick up a big gain. 3rd and inches now for the Oilers.
Pearson, power football again. He'll have the first down about the 22-yard line. Iniguez leading the tacklers along with Wadley. And Tony Bowie also there on the stop, but it's another first down for the Findlay Oilers.
Well, if you're going to gamble as a defensive coordinator,